Right, take 3. I wasn't going to do this, but I've been kind of badgered into it. Because I think every man and his dog that goes on a bike trip thinks that they've got a video it and put it on YouTube, and I wasn't too bothered. Because I think YouTube would get fairly boring fairly quickly if everybody did it. But it's been such an epic getting here, it might be worth a little tributary video perhaps. We set off 3 days ago from Lancashire in England, and it's now Tuesday night. It's 9:25 Tuesday night in Norway. It's been absolutely epically difficult getting here. Just a real slog. We're driving down to Dover, across the ferry, and then up to Hamburg last night. Big rush, late into Hamburg, up early. A horrendous drive through some horrendous weather up Denmark to Hirtshals this afternoon to get the ferry. Just through the worst weather, thunder and lightning, least piss, soaking wet through. Fed up, really almost regretting we'd come really. Anyway, we're here now and it's absolutely stunning. We've got this little log cabin. It's a 6-berth cabin. It's absolutely basic as you like. There's electricity, there's no running water, no toilet, but there's shower block and stuff's just outside, so it's not too bad. 600 Norwegian, so that's 47 quid in English. With hindsight coming up, the only thing we would have done different, if we'd have planned it earlier and got a better price on a ferry, would have done the Hull to Rotterdam crossing, because it's such an epic slog. That was an epic drive, over 1200. I've been knocking on more than that actually now, kilometres to get here. The Hull crossing would have taken a lot of that off and made it a lot easier on us, to the point where we're looking at now changing the ferries, going back and doing a Rotterdam to Hull back if we can. Even going to price up doing a Stavanger down to Rotterdam and then Rotterdam across to Hull, but that might be a bit beyond what we can stretch to. But now we're here, it's absolutely tremendous. The weather, as soon as we got off the ferry, the weather was absolutely as we would want it. It's red hot, lovely. There's an absolutely beautiful lake just behind them bushes. Free everything, free fishing, free canoeing, free canoes, free firewood if you want a fire. So it's ended well, and our spirits have been lifted, and they'll get a bit more of a lift when we get some food in us as well. So, and even more of a lift when we get some of that Jura in there. It's in a Jack Daniels one, but it's Jura. So yeah, so end of 3 horrendous days, we've ended up in better spirits. So we're going to Lisbottom tomorrow. We've got another log cabin in Lisbottom, so we'll see what that holds in store, and if I can cobble a video together for anybody that's interested, I might put it on YouTube. Laters. Okay, so we're halfway between Kristiansand and Lisbottom, and we decided we didn't want a petrol station lunch, so we've risked it. And when I say risked it, I mean the price of stuff. So I don't think it's actually going to be as bad as what people are making out. So we've just had like a brunch. It's like a bacon and egg affair. I should have videoed it before I started really, but it's gone down a treat, and it was really, really good. So a really nice little rest break. We're halfway, like I say, to Lisbottom. So we're just both blown away with this mega scenery. Anyway, I thought it was just worth putting it on a bit of video because it was such a lovely stop. I'm trying to catch the name of the place, but I can't, it's not there. Anyway. Well, the dinner wasn't as expensive as we thought. It was about 40 quid, which I think we would pay in any decent pub in Britain. So we're happy with that. I know beer and other things are going to be dear, aren't they? But that was not too bad at all. So we're halfway between the main road and the Lisbottom place where we're camping. We've come over the top, so we're starting to drop down, obviously. Lisa was interested in the sheep. They've all got bells on, so I've just had a little listen. Anyway, we'll carry on. Can you see anybody else on the cliffs?
No.
I bet he's going to land in this field. Crikey, bumble.
Sorry. Hi.
Oh. That's too high.
I was going to say, that looks ridiculous.
Good.
I think so. The seat's soaked, but I suppose it doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, you've got your plastic picks, haven't you? Babe, are we on?
Switch on, isn't it?
Look that way. Yeah, it's blue.
I'll turn it on and off.
No, just give it one press. Mine might have gone off. Yeah, mine weren't on, Lise.
Look at that. I don't know where my itchy boots
Yeah, I did now.
are.
What, you lost?
My itchy boots thing.
In the pocket. We're on. Are we on? No, like we're on. Right, let's get to that. Yeah. Big gravelly, just let it roll. Okay, eat breakfast. Goodbye, the best place in Norway. Yeah, we'll stop at that place where I want you to stay. So just as an interesting coincidence, when we'd set off, I said to Lisa about the heavy water facility in Norway that the Norwegians and English destroyed before the Germans could produce enough to make their nuclear weapons. And I'd said, you know, if we ever go near it, we'll stop. And then just by chance, we pulled into this hotel because of the weather. And this is like a little shrine, a little museum. The owners of this place knew this character who's portrayed here and this chap. These led the raid. They reconnoitred the factory, and with the British, destroyed it to stop the Americans, stop the Germans developing a nuclear weapon. Apparently, the German officers used to sit here, having the tea and drinking and whatnot, and the saboteurs used to meet in the same place, in that room, talking about how they were going to blow it up while the Germans were sat here. So, for me, a real little treat. I'm really pleased that we've stumbled across it. The light's all wrong. It's getting. These were the flasks that the heavy water was stored in that they had to blow up. They had to destroy 80 of those. And just a few little mementos, Sten gun and whatnot. So really interesting. Really interesting. The guy that runs this place, the guy that owns it and his wife, he was a Norwegian military officer for 40 odd years. He runs tours of how the saboteurs used to hide out in these mountains behind us and develop the trails down for the British, for the English to go down. I can't just show you now, but it's down this valley through this window somehow to the factory to blow it up. Super interesting. If we come back, we'll definitely come back and stay here and do the tour with the guy. He's an absolute giant. He's about 8 feet tall. Lovely bloke. So it's day 6. We've just woken up from our first wild camp. We managed to get cabins, well, 2 Premier Inns on way here, but cabins on campsites. But we've had our first wild camp here. So we've just woken up. It's about 7:45 in the morning. I've just had a brew on. We had hot dogs and soup on there last night next to the river. Did a washing up and whatnot. Road was a bit busy, but all in all good. We should get to the Trollstiger and Trondheim later today. Mint. look at it. Right, imagine how big the ship was that it came off.
Pardon?
That came off a ship,
Wow.
and it had many of them. Baby. Are you coming up to end? Well, I can't believe what I did yesterday. The whole purpose of coming to Norway was to see the Trondheim gun, and we got there after we did the Trollstiger, and I was just in such awe of it that I didn't even get my phone out and tell or say anything about it. Took plenty of pictures, of course, which if I cobble this together I'll put some pictures in. Unfortunately it was too late to go inside it. It's a working museum, the gun's massive, it extends underground and they do a guided tour of it, but it was so late, and because we decided to go to the Arctic Circle, we didn't camp there, we just cracked on, so we got another 100 miles under the belt last night. Ended up at 1:30 in the morning in this lay-by. The Europeans have really got it sorted over here. You probably shouldn't camp here, but there was a tent on this little green, there's toilets. It's a bit of a noisy road over there, so 1:30 this morning in bright daylight we put the tent up, as you can see. Nothing fancy, didn't cook, it was too late, we were both too tired. And got our heads down and managed. I've had a good sleep, I presume Lisa has. Bike's been a right mess. I think Lisa's chain needs adjusting actually, might have to stop. There we go. We were that tired they didn't bother us. So we're going to strike this tent down, and I think it's about 250 miles now to the Arctic Circle, which we should get sorted out in fairly short order. So far so good. I think I'm going to need a new back tyre when I get home. Well, a pair. And that's it. Yeah, we're fairly inland on in Norway now. So we'll see how we get on. My phone's about to die too, so I need to get going, charge everything up. Catch you later.
Oh my goodness.
Well, after last night's rash decision to make it up to the Arctic Circle, we're finally here. I think it was the longest leg from Trondheim to here. But anyway, we've made it in fairly good order. It's disappointingly hot. I kind of wanted it to be cold, and it's roasting. we're going to go back through Sweden. That's the actual centre. The line goes through this thing, through the centre of the building, out the other side. It is a bit bleak and a bit barren, but I do think it's well worth it. I'm now currently stood in the Arctic Circle, which I'll probably never do again. So yeah, great effort all round. I'm really pleased that Europeans seem to have this obsession with standing stones on them, making little cairns. I'm going to ruin their photograph. So there you go, Arctic Circle Centre. Obviously a lot different, no trees have all gone, plenty of snow still around. Brill. Feel like we've really achieved something, it's absolutely terrific. And as if the bikes weren't loaded up enough, we bought 2 reindeer skins. Although they're not particularly heavy, they're absolutely enormous. Anyway, gotta have a souvenir, aren't you? Well, that was a disappointing night, logistically. We were riding down from the Arctic Circle, looking for these stopover places. It says WCN, like a picnic thing. There's plenty of them, but for some reason we were spoiled with that first one we stopped in, because it was about 10 times bigger than this, literally. And there was nobody in it. When we pitched up in the morning, we went, there was only 2 campers in it, and it was huge. Everyone we've seen since has been tiny, like this little toilet in the corner there, and they've been absolutely jam-packed. So again, another late night. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, which you wouldn't have known because it's like this at 1 o'clock in the morning, and having to pitch on this verge here, which is alright, but other people have had to do it. There was a car there last night, they've had to do it. Just really noisy with the road, so what last dregs of whiskey I had, knocked myself out with that, and earplugs in and asleep. Just woken up now, so I've got about 7, 8 hours sleep, so not too bad. I've run out of water, so I can't make a brew. So bad day really yesterday for travelling. Got plenty done, got nearly 700 miles from the Arctic Circle to the ferry at Kristiansand, and we're now about 650 left of that. So we were forced to do loads of miles really, in one day, more than we would have liked to. So we've now really got 2 easy runs down, got 600 miles and 2 days to do it, so not bad. The only trouble with these places, I suppose, is if you get to one early and think you've done well, by the time everybody else has done the same, they're absolutely jam-packed. You wouldn't know looking at it, but there must have been 15 cars in there last night. So as you can hear, the road is quite noisy and wagons are just horrendous, so you definitely need your earplugs in. The bikes are looking a right mess, but I kind of like that. It's indicative of a good ride out, isn't it? Keep that chain oiled every day, and that's doing alright. Mine's doing fine. Surprised my camera didn't get nicked last night, I forgot to take that off. I'm going to try and tidy it up a bit today. I'm getting a bit self-conscious of all the mess. Needed to dry my shoes, so they were out. And the extra stuff we've bought's kind of all over the place. So yeah, not bad going really. Like I say, 600 miles to Kristiansand now. Managing to keep stuff charged up. Bit rough and ready, but my little bum bag goes across between my mirrors, plugs in at my front there, so we're keeping phones and Bluetooth headsets charged up. We're doing alright, it's been good, it's been a good trip. The scenery just makes it once we get on the road again. Plenty of Circle K's for coffees, petrol stations do good food, and we'll be fine again. We'll be fine again. Whoop. So yeah, we'll get another 300 odd miles under our belt. Just a little quick one about how we're living, I suppose, just while we're packing up. This tent is an absolute godsend. I think it was 75 quid from Go Outdoors or something. And I can put it up in literally 3 minutes. Just peg round the bottom. One pole in. It's big enough for me to stand up in. And equally as quick to take down. These roll mats, same Go Outdoors. Absolute godsend. They're a bit big and bulky and they look a bit cob on the bike, but God, they're well worth it. They're just expanding foam mattresses. You open the valves on the end there and they fill up with air. And then open the valves again, roll them up, and they go down to that big. Like I say, they look a bit cob on the bike, but worth every penny for a half decent night's kit. And then the rest of the stuff, Lisa's pillow, my axe, sleeping bags and 2 chairs are in there. That's food which we should never bought. We haven't really eaten it. We're living off 1 meal a day and it's doing us absolutely fine. That's my drone and some camping gear, cooker and camping gear, Kelly kettle, pots and pans, sheepskin which I love, well I need. That's pretty much us, self-sufficient on the road. What's Lisa got on here? She's got a tank bag, some makeup, that's about it. And then of course this monstrosity. This bag belongs to my lad. He passed his test in March and went and bought a load of gear. And what make is it that? SW Motec. I think it's a 75 litre, but it's slightly U-shaped. Sun's a bit bad this morning for this, isn't it? And it sits on my pillion seat. And I pack it so there's a groove in the middle. Try and get everything around the edges so it makes like a big armchair on my bike. So it's really nice. I'm quite picky about how I pack it. Someone's leaked this overnight this time, washing up liquid, and someone's leaked in there. I'll sort that out. And yeah, that's how we're living. We're the 3rd night in the tent. We're on the 10th. 2 nights in Premier Inns, 3 nights in cabins and 3 nights in tents. We've done alright. If you listen really carefully and really hard, if you squint your ears, you might be able to hear that. That's what we were sleeping next to last night. Like I said, you need your earplugs in. Yeah, cracking on. Something else I forgot to say as well. Last night, at about 1 o'clock in the morning, we had a real treat. 2 wild, well, I don't think there are tame moose, but 2 moose just stood in a field at the side of the road. Just managed to catch them out the corner of my eye. If it had been dark, we'd have missed them. And then about an hour prior to that, Lisa had seen a reindeer, so we stopped to take some pictures of that. And I think it got a bit angry and had a little bit of a charge at Lisa's motorbike. So that cheered us right up. Yeah, I've seen some where we saw a massive fox. I've never seen a fox as big. Yeah, fox, a reindeer, and 2 moose chilling out. So that was quite nice. Oh yeah, black rabbit. Yeah, that was unusual. So yeah, it's a little interesting side note to while away the miles. So we wimped out last night. We were looking for somewhere to camp, but we were both so tired. We ended up stopping for fuel, and this fuel stop, a bit of a service area, had a motel attached to it, so we ended up booking this room. We've woken up this morning, the shop's not open to go and get breakfast, so I've brought my stove in, and we've raided our little food supply, and we're having golden vegetable rice and sardines. With some mustard and Tabasco in it. It's actually really good. So yeah, we'll be making a start again with 400 odd miles to run to the ferry, but we don't have to be there till 2 o'clock tomorrow, so a nice steady run still. Weather's not looking brilliant. It's supposed to be bad, but fingers crossed we'll get away with it. It'll be worth it. not worth the run down, but that long drag down there, still 400 odd miles, it's made all the more bearable because the scenery is still just absolutely fantastic. Even though it's like the major arterial route through the country, it's still stunning. So we're still looking forward to it. We're a bit sad to be leaving at this time, but yeah, still good. Yeah, so this is where we stayed. Frisch's Motel and Spizzeri.
On the E6.
On the E6, 400 miles out of the ferry. And this was the little hotel thing, which was proper basic, but what more do you need? I don't know. Managed to get all the washing done. Use this bag, just put some washing soap in there and shook it all up. Rinsed it and conditioned it, all the rest of it, so all the washing's clean. Packed up a bit better. Not brilliant. I don't know what other bikers must think of me. I could clamp it onto her. But we bought some sheepskins, some reindeer skins, sorry, at the Arctic Circle, and we're worried about them getting wet. So one's in there and one's in there now, but they're light, so it's all the heavy stuff's in that. Really, the cloth in that. So yeah, we're away again. I'm just going to finish my last minute brew. And we're off, heading that way into them rather uncertain looking clouds. But yeah, it was alright. £64 for a twin room for the night, which, considering how tired we were, we both had a solid 12 hours kip, so it was well worth the money, I think. Depending on the weather, we'll either camp or get another one of these on the way back. So I don't know what that random blue box is there for, but it was alright. So if I've edited this together in order and managed to cobble it to make some sense, you'll have seen that we've just ridden through some of the worst weather I think I've ever ridden through. So we've managed to find this little rundown hotel by the side of the sea in Oslo. It's got quite a nice view. It's not bad for a little waterside shack. It looks like we've got the place to ourselves. It's a little treat, but we couldn't carry on. You can see from that the weather's horrendous. David Bailey's there creating some art. So yeah, looks like we're in for a cosy night. It was absolutely terrible drive down. It set off alright, but got after Lillehammer. There was a quite bad car crash. We got held up in for a small time, and then the weather just got terrible, really, really bad. Hence why we're here. But it's quite special. So we'll enjoy that tonight, and then weather's supposed to be even worse tomorrow. So we're going to get absolutely battered down to the ferry. Bit of respite on the ferry, and then Denmark is going to be horrendous again. Anyway, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to crack on and drink plenty wine. Still here, a couple of hours later, still drinking. That's about £1 million in beer right there in front of me. And it's getting worse. If the phone will focus, it's terrible. It's going to be horrendous tomorrow. It's forecast the same. What a bonus. We're in this cracking hotel. We've had a cracking breakfast, a nice shower, and my favourite telly programme is on the television. Can't beat a bit of heartbeat. said no one ever. So I'll let you decide what's better. Rice and sardines. Well, this. And that view. At least it ain't raining. I've left my sheepskin seat on my bike as well, so that'll be soaked.
Oh, no, have you?
Okay, we're back in Hamburg a day earlier than expected. We've had a marathon drive today, the biggest I've ever driven in one day from Oslo. We've done on just over 500 miles from Oslo. I know it was broken by the ferry, but luckily we got here and the night guy let us in and has extended our room forward by a day. So we haven't been up to room yet, we're just having a cheeky beer and then I think we'll sleep like logs. Don't know what we're going to do tomorrow, have a day to kill in Hamburg. We'll deal with that.
Sleep.
We'll sleep, won't we? We'll sort that out tomorrow. So yeah, we've made it back to mainland Europe in one bit. Can't believe it's over a week we were sat here full of excitement about what lay ahead of us, and now we've done it all and more than we were expecting, so we're both well happy. Anyway, we'll finish these beers and get our heads down. Well, we've got to the Hook of Holland, to the ferry, but we've had a small disaster because the ferry's gone. Lisa's got a great video of it sailing down a river, down there.
And whose fault was it? Because it wasn't mine.
It's nobody's fault. It was nobody's fault.
Don't know when we'll get another one.
Stena's fault for not having good signage. So of course, the next ferry tonight only has one cabin left on it, called the captain's cabin. I'm not even going to say on here how much that cost, but I've had to book it because the alternative was waiting 24 hours.
Put it this way, we could have had a week in Turkey, all inclusive, for two.
Yeah. So we're going to raid the fridge. There's a complimentary fridge in the cabin, so that's going to get emptied. So yeah, it was a toss-up between paying the extra for the smart cabin or waiting 24 hours, which was still a lot of money. It was still a lot of money.
James,
so coupled with having to find a hotel and just the pain that would have been, it wasn't actually overly more to have the captain's cabin anyway. So we're delayed by I don't know how long it's going to be now, quite a long time I expect. Getting into England tomorrow, so Lisa's treating us to a little restaurant that we've found. It's quite nice. The view's a bit poor, but yeah, it's been alright. As far as going to Norway on a motorbike is concerned, I don't know what to make of it. I think if I didn't have a purpose to go to Norway, I've had this obsession, well not obsession, but I've had this fixation with this Trondheim gun for a lot of years. It's been niggling at me to go, and I would suggest if you didn't have something specific, that it's a big trip. It's a big trip, not to be taken lightly. 3 days to get there and 3 days to get back is a big trip. But I think if the mileage, if I laid it out in a straight line, I think we could drive to Egypt or something ridiculous. The amount of miles it's it's taken. But I wouldn't say it wasn't worth it. It's been epic. It's an epic country. And the scale of everything is epic, and it's fabulous to be there in amongst it all. But you've got to be determined and prepared for the cost of it all and the time it takes. My bike's unquestionably alright. I don't know what Lisa thinks about her Rebel. Would you do it again on a Rebel?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would, but I definitely would. The only downfall is the size of the
Steering circle, the turning circle.
and the petrol situation.
Yeah, it's a tiny petrol tank. Yeah. So we're filling Lisa's up. I mean, mine's a 30 litre tank, but I think Lisa's a 9 litre tank. So we're stopping all the time to fill ours up. But again, it's such a long trip. You don't mind stopping. And usually the views where you stop are pretty spectacular anyway. So all in all, I'm glad we've done it. Might do one more thing about the ship when we get back into England. Maybe one more addition to this, just for the last bit. But we'll just make the most of this ferry tonight because it sounds pretty luxurious. I'm hoping this cabin's going to have a shower and all the rest of it in it, so it should. If it's got a bar, it's likely to have a shower and a decent bed and all the rest of it. So again, good night's kid. Ready for the run home. I suppose it's better than driving through the night up through England, isn't it? But anyway, see how we get on. So just one last thing to do. Now we're back in Blighty. Is the appropriate sticker. That'll do.